Hello everyone, sorry I was just lifting the computer up to stop a wobble and I haven't managed to do that, so anyway I'm on a list. Let me just see if I can do it. Sorry everybody on live stream. Ugh. Right. That's a bit better. Okay, lovely. Thank you everybody, lovely to see you all. Welcome. So as usual, we've got live streaming here and we've got a private Zoom meeting on the other computer, and I try and keep the balance between the two. So we're going to just start as we usually do with a grounding practice and the opportunity to settle and let the rest of the day disappear. So please join me in just coming to stillness. Allow everything to settle and sink. Perhaps if you can just pay attention to changes in the state. So changes in physical state, changes in mental state, changes in emotional state, energetic state. So as we come to stillness, we begin to recognize that we are always moving. Nothing's ever static or still or fixed. And we can really pay attention to what is changing. So mindfulness of breath, mindfulness of body, mindfulness of emotion, and mindfulness of energy or energetic state. And very slowly begin to take control of your breathing. Deepen your breath slightly. And do whatever you'd like to do to transition back to the group and eyes open. Oh, lovely to see you all. I wanted to try to bring to our attention or bring into this conversation one of the most brilliant ideas that comes out of mindfulness. And I've talked about it before, but it's one of my go-to explanations to people of, why should you invest time and energy, and why should you sort of try this not always easy, but very simple practice of shutting your eyes and watching your breath. And I'm not sure who said it. I'm not sure where it comes from, but I heard it once and I just thought, oh, genius, genius. And that is this idea that we can learn or we can relearn how to be happy for no reason. This idea that we have all these things that we look forward to in our life, that we are external to ourselves, are always contingent. So people we know are going to move away or not be available to us in the future. The standard of living that we currently have is perilous, especially with a cost of living crisis at present. Our own health may deteriorate. Our own body functions may deteriorate because of just a natural form of aging. We may achieve what we set out to achieve and not achieve it. But this idea that something in us can be consistent, something in us can just be this constant presence, this constant available connection to life, which doesn't need other things, doesn't need these contingencies, doesn't need these externalities. And it's such a simple idea, but when you begin to notice your own internal landscape and notice that internal landscape and the constant chatter that we have with ourselves, and the chatter isn't always word-based. Somehow we can talk to ourselves without mobilizing words, but there's something there. And it's almost like there's a habitual, I'll be happy when. There's this constant equation in our heads or in ourselves that is going on. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when. And this idea, which sits at the heart of mindfulness, is you can be happy now. You can be happy irrespective of anything, irrespective of health, wealth, status, achievements, non-achievements, whatever. And that's an incredibly beautiful idea. But it requires us to look into and to notice when we are playing the I'll be happy when. So if anybody here has ever, I remember this from when I was in my 20s, and I used to go to an office 9 to 5. And I wasn't actively miserable Monday to Friday, but there was a real sense that I was waiting for Friday. When the life could begin on Friday. I could, I would get through the week. Yeah, that's probably how I'd say it. I'm just taking off this earring because it's banging against this. So I'd get through the week because Friday was the landmark day. Okay, so there's a 7-day week, and I've just said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday don't count. Because Friday's the day I'm going to be happy. Friday's the day I'm going to start living. Now, of course, we all do that to some extent. We all, think that when we get whatever it is, and you can insert anything, when I get, then I can be happy, then I can relax, then I can fully experience the joy in life. Well, as this beautiful French teacher said on Saturday, I was just talking to Annabelle about it. Her name's Anne-Catherine, and she's a very lovely mindfulness teacher based in France, and she's a doctor. And she said, the joy of life, because that's the project. Isn't it so simple? The joy of life, because that's the project. So if I could go back to my 20-year-old self, it would be, where's the joy in Monday? Where's the joy in Tuesday? Where's the joy in Wednesday? Where's the joy in Thursday? Because if Friday, Saturday, Sunday are the only days where you're joyful, that you've just squandered a good deal of your life. You've just let life pass you by. So this idea of happy for no reason kind of is the encapsulation of that idea that even on a Monday, when I'm dragging myself to an office, to a job that I don't love, the Monday morning blues, there can be joy. There can be a connection to life. There can be a felt sense of the presence of the beating heart of life, not just my own beating heart, but the beating heart of life. And at the time when I was in London, the beating heart of a big city like London, yet I'm just not paying attention to it. I'm just getting to the office, hating the crowd on the tube, slogging my way through the streets. It was a chore to get through because I was waiting for Friday. And I look back and think, gosh, I wasn't present for my life. And I'm sure we're all doing it, and I'm sure I'm still doing it now. I hope to a lesser degree. And all that really is required is this idea of being present, showing up for our life, showing up for all of it. Even the bits that we don't want to show up for. But that's the project, to show up for life. And in showing up, we'll just naturally discover that joy. And we get to become happy for no reason. And we may have that sense for 2 minutes every day, but it's 2 minutes more than we would have had without this practice. So with that in mind, I'd like to invite us to sit for 20 minutes together. If you'd like to lie down, that's fine. If you want to turn off your camera, that's fine. I'm just going to explore this theme a bit further in the way that we sit and the way that we come to presence as we sit. So, coming to stillness. And coming to the breath in whatever way is appropriate for us and feels right for us. Noticing all the chatter in your head subsiding. It still continues, but it subsides in terms of volume and in terms of its ability to captivate you. Just noticing that. That subsiding. So this idea of waiting to Friday to be happy shows up in our practice as well. You may notice some of the thoughts in your head around your practice this evening. Things like, I'll be a better meditator when I can concentrate. I will be able to concentrate when I'm comfortable. I will be comfortable when I can scratch this itch. I will be comfortable and able to do this when my mind stops jumping around. Or we might have another internal conversation with ourselves around other people can do this, I can't. Or you might have another conversation which is, I can do it most days, but tonight I can't. So these are all ways in which we suggest to ourselves that we're just waiting to be happy. We're waiting to be present. We're waiting to find the joy in this moment. And the practice is really understanding that these thoughts about what's happening are just a distraction. Right here, right now, is this idea of happy for no reason. Happy when we can't meditate, happy when we can't sit still, happy when we've still got pain in our right hip, happy when there's massive noise in the room next door. Just finding that constancy. If you'd like to, and if it feels right for you, just being with the constancy of the in-breath. So constancy in this place, in this context, doesn't mean always the same. It means the reliability, the fact that the in-breath knows how to breathe. It comes and it does its thing, and then you wait a moment and it comes again. So if you just like to play with the constancy of the in-breath, present for the in-breath. And if you'd like to, and if it feels right for you, move your attention to the out-breath and the constancy of the out-breath, the reliability of the out-breath. And now turning towards the whole of the breath cycle. The absolute reliability of the breath in and out. And without forcing it and without any expectation, just opening up to the possibility that this pure, simple practice, the practice that invites you simply to show up, the practice that invites you to simply pay attention to breath, just opening up to the possibility that there is a simple joy, a simple belief in the constancy of your presence that emerges from this practice. It's not artificially made, it's emergent, it reveals itself. and widening your appreciation for this practice and the community who sits alongside you. Again, allowing the joy, the steadiness of presence to percolate through you and outwards. And slowly for the next few minutes, just become aware of your surroundings. If you like to use the reflection questions at the end of a practice, please do so. What's changed? What have you noticed? And then slowly, in your own way and in your own time, taking control of the breath, beginning to add in any movement, maybe stretching or yawning, and making the transition back to the group and eyes open. And for those on live stream on YouTube, I'm going to say goodbye. And for those of you who are on